Hi, folks. Very good evening. Thanks for joining the session. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I believe you are all able to see my screen, right? So before jumping to the today's content, let us quickly recap what we discussed yesterday, right? So yesterday we started a discussion trying to understand the DevOps, what is DevOps and then how the DevOps market now. So we started why to learn DevOps, right? So we started with the question called why to learn DevOps and who can all learn the DevOps, right? So who can all learn the DevOps and why we need to learn the DevOps. So these things we discussed yesterday. And we concluded that, why to learn the DevOps. We have seen one Atlassian survey. Okay, I'm opening one IDE, so it's opening. Okay, however, we have seen one Atlassian survey, and Atlassian survey is talking about the DevOps usage in the companies, right? Almost above 60% of the companies started using the DevOps. But the only problem is what, there is no proper skills, DevOps implementation skills, meaning it's very tough to find out a proper resources with the proper DevOps implementation skill. So that is what the biggest bottleneck the companies are facing nowadays to implement the DevOps in their projects. So DevOps is showing a direct impact on their business growth, though it is doing that. But implementation wise, we have seen a lot of issues as the lack of resources with the right skill set. Folks, am I audible? Can anyone please confirm? Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Narsi.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let us quickly recap, of course, what we discussed yesterday. So just let me open my IDE in a moment. Just in a moment, let me open my IDE to type something. Right. So we discussed who all can learn DevOps, right? Who all can learn DevOps? This is what we discussed yesterday, right? And who all can learn? Developers, right? And testers, right? And non-IT professionals, developers, testers, non-IT professionals. Anyone can learn. Anyone can learn the DevOps. Anyone can learn the DevOps. This is what we have seen. Anyone can learn the DevOps. Why? Why? Because it's okay. Anyone can learn the DevOps. No prerequisites. No prerequisites is required. No prerequisites is required. No coding. No coding is required. No programming. No programming language knowledge is required, right? No programming knowledge is required. Here there is one class is right, Python. If you know Python, preferably, if you know by chance, if you know Python, that will be an added advantage, but it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. It's what, added advantage. Why the people are expecting here Python? Few companies, few interviewers are asking about the Python basics, very basics. Why Python they are expecting is, the knowledge on the Python, why they are expecting is, did you remember yesterday I have shared you the pipeline architecture. Let me even share that pipeline architecture today as well. In that pipeline architecture, you have seen there is a tool called Ansible, which is a configuration management tool. So there is a configuration management tool called Ansible. And that Ansible setup and that Ansible playbooks writing sometimes requires the Python knowledge. But if it is there, that's well and good. If it is not there, no problem. We can achieve it in some other way. It is not mandatory. It is not mandate. So this is what I'm talking about. If you can see my diagram, let me increase the size in font. Right. So if you can see this diagram, so this is what I'm talking about. There is a tool called Ansible. This Ansible we will install in two ways. And of course, Ansible is the tool written in Python. And latest Ansible tool, that is 2.12 version, will run with the Python 3 version. So what I'm saying is, as we are using a configuration management tool called Ansible, and it has been written in the Python, and if the interviewer have the requirement on the configuration management, meaning if they are looking for the guys who has to work extensively on Ansible, then in that case only they will evaluate or they will ask the Python basics. Otherwise, nothing is required, right? So few requirements we will get, like, Ansible administrator is the job role. Ansible administrator job roles, few times they will have the particular requirement on only Ansible. If you will be an Ansible admin, then you should require the knowledge on the Python. Knowledge, not experience. Knowledge is enough, good enough. That too, Python basics are good enough. Other than that, nothing is required. So anyone can learn the DevOps because no prerequisite is required, no coding is required, no programming knowledge is required. And preferably, if you know, optionally, if you know the Python, that's well and good. It's a added advantage, but not mandatory. So this is what we have seen. Who can learn? Anyone can learn this. Anyone can learn this DevOps. Right. Now anyone can learn the DevOps, right? There were another tools as well, right? Maybe another non-coding tools also we have. Probably if we can take mainframes. I don't know whether coding is required for this or not, but I have seen non-coding guys who are most preferably learn these mainframes, and then some other tools were there. So they were learned these tools, and then they got the opportunities way back in the 2008 to 2012. They got. Guys, can you please mute? Thank you so much. Thank you. So there were other tools which are also not required the coding. You can learn them. There were other tools in the market which are also not required coding. You can learn them. But the point is, there is no consistent growth on these tools. And also these were now outdated. That is the reason if you learn DevOps have the future, because yesterday we have seen the market growth, right? Market growth so far 2020 projected as occupied by the 60%, meaning down the line there will be a huge demand and then huge growth in the DevOps. DevOps will be forever be there, because using DevOps we can automate any projects, Java projects, Python projects, .NET projects, and UI projects, right? .NET project, UI project, and the data science related project, ML, machine learning, AI, artificial intelligence, any industry you can take, any technology you can take, any industry you can take, any industry, any technology, any of the application, we can easily automate using the DevOps. Easily automate using the DevOps and the DevOps tools. That is the reason, as the development of the applications using these technologies are drastically growing and will be there forever, definitely the need of the DevOps engineer also be there forever. That means unlike the other non-coding tools, right? It's unlike the other non-coding tools, DevOps will have the a consistent growth and consistent market. Because as long as the programming languages which are very popular in the market were there, definitely their automation is also required. And nowadays everyone is using the microservices architecture. Sir, what is microservices architecture? What is this? Please don't panic, folks. Going forward, I'll explain. But nowadays, if you attend any DevOps engineer, there is a compulsory question they are asking: how to automate the microservices deployments. How to automate the microservices deployments is the very popular question. And if this point, if in your resume, for example, if in your resume, if you have a profile summary, right? In a resume, we have a profile summary. In profile summary, if you mention like, experienced in profile summary, if you have a word like this, experienced in automating the microservices deployments as a cloud agnostic. If you have in your profile summary, in your resume, if you have this word, 100% they will ask one question: how you will automate the microservices? And also, if you don't have this word also, they will ask, do you know how to automate the microservices deployment? What I mean to say is, nowadays everyone is looking, or everyone is using, if it is a Java project, everyone is now, most of the Java projects are now developing with the microservices architecture. So managing the microservices is really a cumbersome and difficult. So managing the microservices is really a cumbersome and difficult. That is the reason to manage them, DevOps is required. So you may have asked one question to me, sir, how it is cumbersome? Managing the microservices, how it is cumbersome? So just I will showcase one diagram. One diagram I can showcase, of course, which is not required to you at this moment, but see the complexity. You have to see the complexity. What is our DevOps role in the microservices architecture? Hope you are able to see my screen, right? See, the developers will just write this microservices and the developer will just Dockerize them. That's it. Developers will write the microservices and developers just will do the Dockerization. But this entire production setup, this entire application microservices deployment, right? Microservices deployment with the logging, microservices deployment with the tracing, microservices deployment with the event-driven pubs and subs, microservices deployment with the databases, cache, API gateway, security. These are all the responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. Sir, we don't know all these things. How do we do? That's where you are now came here to learn the things, right? That's where you are came here to learn the things. If you don't know all these things, don't panic. Don't panic, right? Don't panic. You will learn all these things. However, wherever you will learn, folks, but you have to learn all these things. Then only you will be termed as a DevOps engineer, a proper DevOps engineer, right? According to the Atlassian survey that we have seen yesterday, market is struggling with finding out the right resources with all the skills, all the DevOps implementation skills. The people are People are there. I'm not saying like, people are not there. People are there, but some people know the Ansible, that they don't know the Kubernetes. Some people know the Docker, they don't know Kubernetes. Some people know Jenkins, Ansible, they don't know Docker and Kubernetes. Some people know Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, they don't know Kubernetes. Or maybe some people know the Jenkins. Guys, can you please mute? Just a moment. Yes, done. Okay, some people know the Jenkins, some people know SonarQube, some people know JFrog, but they don't know Kubernetes, they don't know EFK, they don't know Grafana, they don't know Prometheus, they don't know ECR. Sorry, they don't know container registry, right? What I'm saying is, folks, there is a gap, lack of DevOps implementation skills in the market for sure. So if you will be there, who know everything from end to end, a complete automation, you definitely will be demanded for the hire. That is what I would like to say. Now here DevOps, we can automate. Actually, see this. What I would like to let you know here, sir, we don't know programming, we don't know coding, but we can learn other tools also. Why we need to learn DevOps? Right. The other tools don't have the growth. Other tools don't have the drastical growth like how the DevOps is there, how the DevOps is doing. DevOps is already occupied 60% of the application, 60% of the organizations already started practicing the DevOps as like a regular, like how they have a development team, how they have a testing team. Similarly, they also have started DevOps as a separate practice. So that means what? And using DevOps, we can automate all these applications, right? All these applications, all these projects we can automate. So as long as the applications were there with these all the technologies, definitely DevOps will be there. So DevOps don't require the coding. DevOps have a consistent growth, and DevOps is a highly paid job. DevOps is one of the highly paid. DevOps is one of the highly paid job role, right? You don't know coding, you don't know programming, you are not a IT guy, but you would like to start IT career with a good package, good CTC. Starting, maybe you are a fresher, you want starting 8 lakhs, 6 lakhs, right? Maybe you are 1 to 2 years guys, you are expecting 12 lakhs, 13 lakhs. Maybe you are like to switch your career, you are expecting more than 20 lakhs. Based on your experience level, you would like to get a more hike. That is possible only with the DevOps, right? So that is the reason. DevOps is one of the highly paid job role. So who can learn DevOps? All the guys, developers, testers, non-IT professionals can learn the DevOps. No coding, no prerequisite, no programming knowledge is required. And DevOps have a consistent growth. And using DevOps, you will get highly paid jobs. That is the reason we should have to know the DevOps. And yesterday we even have discussed, sir, in DevOps, a lot of tools were there. So what are the tools we have to learn? So DevOps tools, what are the DevOps tools we have to learn is also we have seen yesterday, right? And we have also seen what are the DevOps tools that we have to learn yesterday. So what are the tools that we have to learn? This is a standard architecture what I have drawn based on the market demand and based on the market requirements by assuming and analyzing the various job applications, various job requirements. By analyzing, I have drafted this architecture. So these tools are common and standard for any of the DevOps role. For example, if you would like to go somewhere and then see, let me go here and then showcase you something. DevOps annual salary. Just we already have discussed these things yesterday, but why again I'm going there, to showcase you what are the DevOps tools or the technologies that mostly asking. Okay, and to showcase you that, I'm just going there. Right, so I'm just going here to showcase you what are all the DevOps tools and then technologies are asking. Okay, so let us grab the technologies and then tools that are mostly asking. Just let me scroll down. Just bear with me for 5 minutes at most. Then we will go to the today's content. Just bear with me for 5 more minutes. Just let me go to the market expectations. Yes. So these are all the tools that yesterday we have seen. Okay, let us see few jobs. Okay, let us see few jobs. What they are asking, let us see. So let us go to these jobs. Few job notifications. Let us go and then see what they are asking. Okay, so this is the senior engineer job role, senior DevOps engineer job role, right? But observe what they are asking. AWS and Python, Azure, GCP. This is they are asking for the senior 6 to 11 years. That is good because the job role is Microsoft Azure experienced. So we don't need this. Now developer associate. Let's go this. So this is a developer associate. Though it is a developer associate, they are expecting a DevOps knowledge. That's what, who can learn the DevOps? Developers can learn the DevOps. See, who have the developer, they are also asking a DevOps knowledge. Okay. Now let's go to DevOps architect or senior DevOps engineer. So if you can see here what they're asking, Kubernetes, let me note down guys, because I would like to show something. Kubernetes, and what they're asking, Kubernetes, Bash, Terraform, Ansible. So Kubernetes, Bash, Terraform, Ansible. So Kubernetes, Bash, shell scripting, Terraform, Ansible, and Python also asking. This is for the senior profile, very senior profile, right? Okay, good. Now let's go to senior DevOps engineer, 8 to 11 years of experience. What they are asking, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Linux. So this is for another job role. So I'm just writing down here to grab your attention, what to learn and what you have to focus more while learning. Okay, this is the one role. And other job is expecting Docker. Let me write Docker, Kubernetes, and Linux, and Ansible, Linux, Ansible, and again, any of the DevOps they have explicitly given, and any of the cloud knowledge they are expecting. Okay, fine. Let's go to one more job role. 7 to 12 years this job role is. Okay, 7 to 12 years this job role is. What they're asking, Git, GitHub, Cloud Foundry, Agile methodology, coding, something they are asking. Okay, which is not required to us. Just they are expecting the Git and then GitHub. That's it. Okay, now let's go to one more job role, developer associate, Node.js. So this is what we want, 0 to 3 years DevOps engineer. Now see what they're asking. So this is the job role 3. So job role 3, see what they're asking. They're asking Terraform, Jenkins, Linux internals. Okay, they're asking Linux internals, Jenkins, Terraform, Kubernetes, Terraform, Jenkins, Linux, Kubernetes, Ansible, ELK. Ansible, ELK, and they are asking Grafana, and they are asking Grafana, of course, again, Python knowledge, and then GitHub, and then DevOps. Okay, so these are the one more job role they're asking. Okay, so if you, okay, let us see one more job role, and then let us come to a final conclusion so that you will get an idea. So load more job roles, scroll down. So this is one senior DevOps role. Again, for the senior DevOps role, they are expecting what? Networking, Kubernetes, Docker, monitoring. So one more job role, they're expecting what, one more job role, they're expecting what? Networking, Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, right? Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, and analytics and monitoring. Again, monitoring will comes like, Grafana and then Prometheus. Monitoring, analytics. Analytics like, ELK we can use, log management and all, log analytics we can see, analytics. So this is one job role. Okay, now let us do one more job role and then let us come to a conclusion. Okay, so scroll down, 3 to 6 years, or maybe whatever the experience level, doesn't matter experience level, right? So let us go to this senior specialist and expecting a DevOps Ansible, and scroll down. Yes, Red Hat DevOps, IBM is expecting what they're expecting. They are expecting network security agile. This is not related to us. Probably they are expecting networking and then little different concepts. Okay, however, DevOps engineer, if you can see DevOps engineer, this job role, DevOps, AWS, Kubernetes, Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, and Azure or something like that. They are expecting. And they are expecting what? Docker, Kubernetes, and expecting the AWS. Okay, guys, out of these are all the things, market is expecting, right? Out of all these things, let me open some Notepad++, just to bring them to a same, side by side. Just let me open one Notepad++. Okay, just to bring them to a side by side. Okay. Now, see this, please observe. So this is one job role. What they're asking, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform. This is one more, Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, Ansible. This is one more job role, Linux, Kubernetes, Ansible. And this is one more job, Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes. What do you understand from this entire tech stack and then market expectations? What are the mandatory tools that we have to learn? Docker, first Linux, then Docker, then Kubernetes, then Ansible, then Jenkins, right? Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Jenkins, and Terraform, right? Terraform, and cloud, maybe AWS, Azure, cloud, AWS, Azure. We have not seen SonarQube. And we have not seen the Artifactory repositories. We have not seen the Nexus or JFrog. We have not seen. Right? Agree, right? Do you agree? This is what the job descriptions, the most of the companies are asking, right? ELK, Grafana, right? These are what the job technologies, DevOps tools, the most of the market is asking. Agree, right? Agreed, right? Now let's go to our course content. Hope you are able to see the course content, what I'm gonna cover in this course, right? So by the way, a few of the members might join today as well. So my name is Narsi. I have a 12+ years of experience, and I'm working as an associate architect in a product engineering company. And my expertise and my practice is cloud and DevOps, security, and then microservices architectures. Okay, however, see this, DevOps with AWS on Linux. A detailed content I will discuss, but if you can see this content, what has been written here? Linux meaning what we will discuss in the Linux, I will explain. Very internals of the Linux we'll discuss. Shell scripting, Linux architecture, Linux flavors, internals of the Linux, commands, connecting to one machine to another machine using the SSH security keys, exchanging, executing the commands on the remote machines by connecting to the remote machines. Very in-depth explanation, very in-depth concept we will see in the Linux. And Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform. Did you see? These are the technologies mandatorily asking for a DevOps engineer, no matter how many experience you have. We have seen 0 to 3 years experienced job role. We have seen 5 to 8 years experienced job role, and we have seen 7 to 12 years experienced job roles, right? So far, we have seen all these things here in the Ambition Box job portal. What they are expecting, no matter irrespective of the experience level, say 6 to 11 years, right? And then 0 to 3 years, and then See this 13 to 18 years, this is right. They are expecting automation, Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, Bash, right? And this is again 8 to 11 years and 7 to 12 years. No matter how many years of experience range is, but the industry or the IT companies are expecting the skill set on these. No matter you have a zero experience, no matter you have a 10 years of experience, but the expectation of the market is same and common. That is what, everyone who termed as a DevOps engineer should have the knowledge on the Linux internals, Docker, very in-depth, proficient experience on Docker. Please mark my words, proficient experience on Docker. It's not like, creating the Docker image, building the Docker image. No, Docker internals are required. How the Docker container will work, how the Docker image will be converted as a container, what is its file system, how the file system will be. There are a rootfs, bootfs file systems, kernel level discussions we need to do, Docker client, Docker engine or Docker server, kernel level discussions we need to do. From very beginning, what is Docker to Docker engine kernel level discussion we will do in the Docker. This Docker itself will take 15 days for us to complete. 2 weeks to 3 weeks it will take for us to complete. And Kubernetes itself will take for us to complete again 3 weeks to 4 weeks minimum it will take. If we say 1 week on Docker, the Docker will be completed in 2 weeks. Kubernetes will take 4 weeks. Docker and Kubernetes itself will take 6 weeks, folks. You imagine 6 weeks, meaning how much depth we will learn in the Docker and Kubernetes. For your idea, sir, how much depth we will learn just for an idea. I am showing one IDE. This is the Kubernetes IDE called Lens IDE. What is Kubernetes? Entire Kubernetes is of these concepts. Entire Kubernetes of these concepts. Right? So this is one IDE called Lens IDE. For the Kubernetes development we will use. And I will show one more IDE, one more application, one more web application called Rancher. You can see this Rancher. Rancher is a web application. Rancher is a web application from where you can see the Kubernetes resources, Kubernetes related activities, where you can manage. And this is the IDE where you can write the Kubernetes files. Now you just think about the level what you're going to learn in the Kubernetes. I'm pretty sure, guys, you will rock with the Kubernetes if you attend my sessions, because I have a lot of confidence and a lot of lectures I have been delivered on the Kubernetes and Kubernetes and Docker. I'm so sorry for spelling mistake. Kubernetes and Docker. What we're going to learn here? See whether it is a IDE or whether it is a web application, the concepts are same. If you can observe clearly, the concepts are same. See this cluster, workloads, configurations, and of course they have given the configuration separately: service discovery, storage, RBAC, configurations, networking, and storage, namespaces, events, apps, access control, and custom resources. So entire your Kubernetes syllabus or maybe the content is this one only. For example, if you can see cluster, what is cluster, how to set up the cluster, and in the cluster, if you can see, there is a master, there is a worker. What is master? What is worker? How the master and worker will connect together? All these things we will see. And if you can see here, there is a nodes. Nodes, nothing but what, missions, physical missions. And here, if you can see the workload objects, this is the very important and heart of your Kubernetes development. Hot in the sense, what I would like to say, you will use these concepts basically, the entire Kubernetes, parts, deployments, daemon set, stateful set, replica set, jobs, cron jobs. These are all the concepts. Except jobs and cron jobs, we'll discuss all these things. So now the interviewer will ask you the question. what is the difference between the daemon sets and stateful sets? Can you please explain the daemon sets and stateful sets differences? And did you folks observe one thing? I shown you one thing. Management of the microservices. In management of the microservices, what I told, we will set up the database. We will set up the cache. So these databases will be set up using the daemon sets and stateful sets. If you don't have an experience how to do, what to do, and how to set up, you cannot answer this question. And for example, in the previous batches, how we have implemented in the previous batches, if you can see here, I'm talking about the previous batches, how we have implemented. See, this is the database. So how we have written the Kubernetes files, I will show you. So scroll down, see this. Kubernetes daemon set, database daemon set, database deployment, database service, database persistent volumes, persistent volume claims, secrets, config maps, namespaces. So all the concepts you can learn here. See this: deployment, parts, daemon set, stateful set, replica sets, and then configuration, config map, config secrets, HPA, resource quotas, rate limiters. Except part disruption, we will learn all these things. And then networking, Kubernetes networking. In Kubernetes networking, one problem you will face. The interviewer will ask you one question here. What is that question? What is that question? Please carefully observe. In Kubernetes, maybe these are all the things might be little high and then maybe tough for you at this moment. But please observe the reality. To what extent you have to learn. You are spending your money, and more than your money, you are spending your time. So my intention is to drive you in a right direction, what you have to learn. That's the reason. Though these topics, what I am pronouncing now might be little higher, but you have to please, just see the words and then just hear the words. What is the question that the interviewer will ask you is, assume database is running one namespace. What is namespace, sir? Say Kubernetes one of the resource. I will explain what is this. And application is running in another namespace. By default, the database is in one namespace. You assume one machine, separate machine, kind of. For your understanding, I'm saying like that, but it is not a machine. Assume a separate space, separate box, the database is running, separate box, the application is running. So this is a separate box, no way connection to this application. This is separate box, no way connection to this database. But application requires the database. Then how do you establish the communication between the application and then database, which are running independently into different boxes called as namespaces? That is the question. The answer for the question is, using the Kubernetes networking. You got it right? Using the Kubernetes networking. What is networking and all? You will learn as part of the concepts. You just sit and relax and then attend the sessions regularly. You will go to master level automatically. I'll definitely try my level best to give the best in the Kubernetes for sure. Okay. Now, if you can see, there is one more question. The database is there. Database is running in one machine. That machine is crashed. And again, we have set up the database on a new machine, right? But we want the data. We want the data recover, right? Database is running on one machine and that machine crashed. But we want the data of the database to be recovered. It should not be lost, because lakhs of data we will have, right, in the real time, right? Millions of data we will have. The data should not lose. Then how to recover the data? For that, we will use called volumes. Kubernetes volumes. So why I am typing these names? Why I'm typing these names, folks? The concepts of the importance is this: configuration, networking, storage. See this: persistent volumes claims, storage classes, namespaces, and the security, RBAC, role-based access control, cluster role bindings, right? So these are all the things, workloads, configuration. These are all the things you have to learn in the Kubernetes. If you learn just what is Kubernetes, what is service, I have seen most of the I'm not criticizing, but most of the members I have seen just learning workloads. That's it. Kubernetes parts, deployments. That's it. Deployments, parts, and then in networking, they are learning just services. That's it. Services, parts, deployments, they are learning. That is not real Kubernetes, folks. That is not real Kubernetes. There is a lot in Kubernetes, right? There is a configuration, not only services, there is a load balancers we have, network policies we have, port forwardings we have, right? And also we have a storages, first and volume claims, first and volume, storage classes, namespaces, access control, RBAC, cluster role binding, cluster role, and then, cluster role, and then role binding, role based access control, service accounts, right? Part security policies. These are what the interviewer will ask you. If you just learn these, what is part, what is deployment, and what is service. If you learn these three, then if you go to interviews, it will be bounced back to you. You never clear the interview for sure. You have to attend 10 interviews, 20 interviews. You never clear the interview for sure. Because what you understood now, for a DevOps engineer, Kubernetes is mandatory. That is what you have seen from the various job postings posted by the various companies. So Kubernetes is mandatory for a DevOps engineer. So when Kubernetes is mandatory, you have to learn you have an in-depth knowledge on it, right? You have to be in this level. See what we have done. See, just for deployment, seven files are required. This is only the database. Again, application will also be there, right? And after this, right? After this, then to manage them or to deploy them onto various missions, we may have 100 missions. To deploy into 100 missions, we required an automation tool, configuration management automation we required. That's where we will use the Ansible. See this, deploy, cleanup playbook, deploy playbook, cleanup playbook, and deploy playbook. So this is what, again, Ansible. Using Ansible, you will automate the entire deployment process onto hundreds of missions at a time, right? So folks, maybe I'm terming little high terminology, but reality is this one. Okay, so see this is the dev applications. So dev applications again have the files like namespace, config map, config secret, and deployment file, service file, playbook to deploy it. Here secret, there is one important interview question here. What is that important interview question? How to pull the Docker images from the private registry. Unlike Docker Hub, how to pull the Docker images from the private registry. So when the question they will ask, listen the question carefully, folks, and see my architecture diagram, what I have drafted. This is the Docker registry. So this Docker registry by default, hub.docker.com. That means Docker Hub will be used by most of the members, but that is a public repository. And if you want a secure repository, for example, we're going to see the AWS. In AWS, ECR, Elastic Container Registry is there. In Azure, there is a ACR, Azure Container Registry. They are private registries. And Harbor, I believe you can see now in my poster. In my poster, you can see Harbor. See this Harbor. This is a private repository, private container registry. So how we can connect it to the private container registries is one question. For that, we will use what? The secrets. For that, we will use what? The secrets. And to connect to them, we need to create the secret files. That's where the concept here in the Kubernetes got like, secrets, where it is in configuration. See this secrets. The use case, and see horizontal pod auto scaling, a beautiful feature, horizontal pod auto scaling. When your application is reaching 50% of the RAM CPU usages, automatically one more application instance will be created automatically. Such an automation things you will write in this horizontal pod autoscaler. Very beautiful, folks. Kubernetes concepts are really awesome. You just learn them at an expert level. Definitely you will crack any of the interview, any of the job, any of the interview crack. Okay, however, let's go back to the awareness of the content awareness. So most of the companies are asking Kubernetes, Ansible, Linux, and Docker, and Jenkins, Terraform, ELK, Grafana, networking, and monitoring analytics, and one of the cloud. That's where my course content is. So Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins, SonarQube, Artifactory repositories like Nexus and JFrog, EFK and Harbor. This EFK is what, analytics and then monitoring tool, logging tool. Logging, not monitoring, but logging analytics. We can aggregate the logs. Elasticsearch, FluentD, and Kibana, which is Kibana have a dashboard where we can see the logs. Why this is required? Did you remember I told microservices deployment is asking by the most of the interviewers for the DevOps interviews, right? Microservices deployment, right? Meaning when a particular application deployed in a Kubernetes, how to see the logs of the application. Watching the logs in a Kubernetes pod is little difficult. Not difficult, but we have to go somewhere and then see. If you have a nice dashboard where we can see all the logs, that is well and good. That's where the EFK came into the picture. So EFK and Harbor. Harbor is private registry. And Prometheus and Grafana, right? Except SonarQube, Nexus, and EFK, Harbor, except these tools, you have seen the other tools are most commonly asking tools by the interviewers and the job postings. And of course, once you attending the interview, then definitely they will be asked questions on this. And AWS, cloud, one of the cloud is AWS. In AWS, you will learn IAM, EC2, EBS, EKS, networking, load balancing, S3, SQS, SNS, ECR, again, container registry, CloudWatch for monitoring the logs and all, CloudFront, and Route 53. Terraform is probably, yes, I have written here, right? Terraform. So this is exactly a perfect course content for the market expectation. I have prepared this course content by analyzing the various job posting and then various job requirements, folks. So this is a 90 days program. In 90 days, we will cover entire things. In 90 days, if you can observe, our 45 days probably going for these two things only, these three things, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes will take 45 days for us. And Ansible will take 1 week. Terraform will take 1 week. Jenkins will take 2 weeks. SonarQube is 3 days. Nexus is 3 days. These two will be 1 week. EFK and Harbor is again 3 days. Of course, 1 week it will take. Prometheus and Grafana. EFK, Harbor, Prometheus, and Grafana. This will take 1 week. Nexus and JFrog, SonarQube will take 1 week. Jenkins will take 2 weeks. Terraform is again 2 weeks. Ansible is again 1 week. Kubernetes 4 weeks. Docker 2 weeks. Linux 2 weeks. This is the course segregation based on the meaning that the weeks wise. Sir, by this time we are completing our 90 days. What about the cloud, sir? Yes, so we will also spend some Saturdays, longer time. If it is okay for you, based on your availability, based on your timings, let us spend 3 hours at least in Saturday, and then not Sundays most probably, but on Saturdays, let us plan for a longer sessions so that these timings we can minimize and we can buy out minimum 3 weeks here, and that minimum 3 to 4 weeks we can spend here. That's the design of the course content. Okay, most of you members are asking the course content. Yeah, I have prepared the course content. Of course, earlier sessions also have the course content, but earlier I was in another institute, so I don't want to present that course content here. So that is the reason I started writing again the course content. So this course content will be published in our site probably by today night. So you go and then see the course content, detailed course content, each and every course content you will see. And also I will give the timings here, how much time it will take to complete each and every course content. So that way it will give you a complete picture. Okay, so I have prepared like Jenkins and CI/CD, and I'm just writing more. I have the course content separately. If you can see here, I have a course content for the Docker and Kubernetes here. So this is the Kubernetes course content, right? So Kubernetes course content. This is the Kubernetes course content. Similarly, I have a Docker course content. So I need to bring all these things into a single document, and then I will share it with you, right? So this is the probably not, but Docker course content, Linux course content, I will share. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Yes, sir, in Java requirement, Java and Python is also mentioned. That's what I told. See this, Python, any of the programming knowledge is just a add an advantage, but not mandatory. Not mandatory, it's an add an advantage, right? Any of the programming knowledge if you have, that's an add an advantage, but it's not mandatory. Okay, fine. So shall we jump to our concept? Are you clear with the course content? Are any questions in the course content, folks? I would like to speak out from you. I'm making you guys to unmute yourself. If you have any questions, just speak out to me. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and then you can speak out to me if you have any questions. Right.
There are so many terms and there are so many things at once. I know because it's a demo, you're trying to say everything, but so is 3 months good enough to learn it in a
100%.
comfortable way that you can start your job?
100% we can, because it's an executable course content and we have been executing this for the various batches. We already have been executed this. So based on that, and also, the course content while we are preparing, we definitely have a complete, course completion timelines in our mind. So for sure, a 0 candidates can be reached to at least a proficient level within the 90 days of the time. Okay. That's where weekends is the very important to us. Saturday, at least 2 to 3 hours. 3 hours we will spend. 3 hours in Saturday will be an equivalent to minimum 2 hours, 2 days in our weekdays, right? So that's why we will mitigate here and there, and then we can complete. But the reality you guys have to. So if you don't know all these things, if you can go and then attend the interviews, for sure you will be bounced back. That is what the intention I would like to. But in reality, tomorrow onwards, we'll start the concepts, DevOps concepts. Then it is very easy. Slowly we will go from the very scratch level. Let us try to understand what is DevOps and all from the very scratch level from tomorrow onwards. If you can see the course content here, the DevOps content. So tomorrow onwards, let us start this. So DevOps survey, why learning DevOps we completed, right? And tomorrow, let us start this with a nice story. So with one DevOps story, we'll try to understand all these concepts. Then we will see the DevOps life cycle. Slowly, you will be injected into the concepts. And finally, you will be going to a 0 to master level for sure. Yeah. Any other? Yes.
So what about the practice?
Yeah, practice. For the practice purpose, if you can see here, folks, here is little sacrifice you have to do. What is that sacrifice? The practice, everything we will do on the AWS. We will do the practice on the AWS. And AWS, yes, can you please be mute? Yeah, thank you so much. AWS machines are free for us when they are with the 1 GB RAM and then 1 CPU core. AWS machines are free for us when we use the 1 GB RAM and then 1 CPU core. But in our tech stack, if you observe, all the 4 GB, 2 CPU, this is only, right? So Ansible is only with the 1 GB RAM and then 1 CPU core, but except all are 4 GB RAM and then 2 CPU core, right? And then how you will manage your practice, folks? You have to use these machines carefully, and then you have to shut down once you have to complete your work. And per month, you will get minimum 600 to 800 as the bill that you have to bear. Minimum monthly 600 to 800 you will get the bill. That bill you have to pay. Sir, I don't pay bill. I will set up all these things in my machine, in my local machine. No, it is not possible. Honestly speaking, it is not possible. Why? How much load your local machine, your local laptop will bear, right? These are all high-end configuration. Without high-end configurations, without practicing, there is no meaning for paying the fee and then learning DevOps here, right? right? Without practicing, without setting up all these things on your own, there is no meaning for learning. So as part of learning, you guys have to contribute 600 to 800 per month to the AWS subscription. And after 3 months and after 4 months, you can shut down these machines completely. By that time, you will get the job. So you will shut down these machines completely if you want, right? So am I answered your question?
Yes, and you can show me that setup of all these missions also, right?
100%, 100%. For from very beginning, very scratch, I will showcase all these things. Don't worry. I'm assuming, you folks are zero knowledge. That is what I'm assumption. I'm assuming that you folks came here with a zero knowledge, zero. So from there, I will start everything from the scratch, and a step-by-step, screenshot document I will provide with the screenshots.
That is there Puppet and Chef included in our syllabus? Puppet, Chef, Nego is.
Really, I don't want to go to those legacy tools, folks. So Puppet and then Chef, and those are what, Chef itself is a highly infrastructure tool, highly, more infrastructure configuration is required for it. But what the job it is doing, the Ansible is doing with the 1 GB RAM, right? So that's the reason I am not going for the legacy tools called Chef, Puppet, or other things. I'm going with the Ansible, Grafana. I'm not going with the Chef, Puppet, Nagios. I'm going with the Ansible, Grafana, Prometheus, ever latest and expecting by the market. Nowadays, I have not seen Chef and Puppet in many of the job postings. 1 or 2 job postings are asking Chef, but not other job postings. So Ansible is good enough to manage.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Narsi, one thing. In 3 months, as you have told about the AWS course, so do you think we will be able to cover each and everything of AWS, including DevOps?
Why not? 100%, folks. If it is not completed in 3 months, let us spend 1 more month. 1 more month.
Okay.
What is the problem? Huh?
I'm just thinking like, see, in AWS, if I'm not wrong, we are having so many things. It is having an administrator part, we are having a developer part, we are having sysop part, and then we are having architect part. So I'm thinking like, how come we are able to cover all?
Exactly. Not all those things. What are required for a DevOps role? Those things we will cover.
Okay, so we are not going in depth of AWS. You mean to say?
In depth of AWS we will go, but not all the AWS have the 200 plus services. 200 plus services are not required for us. 13 to 15 services are required for the DevOps engineer.
Okay. And one more thing, Narsi, like if in case we will cover this DevOps with AWS, whether we will be eligible for Azure one as well. So because as per me, all the tools which we are going to have it here, that can be applicable for Azure too, right?
Here cloud will be different. Cloud provider will change, but these are again same. These are all again same, but the provider will change here. For example, here we are procuring the EC2 machines. If it is in Azure, then we will procure the Azure VMs. And here we are working on the case. See, somewhere I have mentioned E-case. Here it will come as a case, but underlying concept is Kubernetes. Right.
So in future, if in case like we'll try to opt for an Azure job where we are having a DevOps role, then how at that moment of time we will get it done? Like whether we need to learn few more things in terms of Azure, or we can go with the tools itself.
Obviously, these are not required, but cloud providers you have to learn. Azure provider you have to learn.
Okay, and if I'll talk about the Linux, so we are going to cover from basics to advanced level.
Exactly, basics to advanced level, from zero. What is Linux to shell scripting level we will cover.
Okay. Thanks, Narsi, for clarification.
Thank you. Okay, so tomorrow let us start our content. Please don't miss. If you are really interested, please
Hello,
attend.
sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello. Sir, my name is S.K. Rabbani, sir.
Yeah, please
Hello?
go ahead. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Sir, offline classes also there, sir, from week 2 weeks after also.
No. Really, I'm not interested in the offline classes, folks, because of course now the situation is good. No pandemic. No pandemic in the sense no cases were there, but I don't want to do that risk. So I don't want to go for offline, folks. My sessions are only online. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
this is Shakti, sir.
Hi.
I have one question. Actually, I am from mechanical background.
Mhm.
So I want to switch my career in IT sector. So it will be a good option or what, sir?
Yeah,
Means-
that's what. Yes, yes, obviously, that's what we have learned here. Meaning the first statement, starting of our session today, the first session. Who all can learn DevOps? No matter whether you are a IT professional, non-IT professional, but it is a good platform to come to an IT sector, folks. Why? Because there is no coding is required. Demand is more, right? Coding is not required. Demand is more, highly payable. So obviously, this is the right opportunity to utilize.
But sir,
Okay?
can I capture all these things? Means actually, I don't have any means. I don't have any idea about what is networking. All these things.
Yes, that is my headache. You don't worry. I will take care of.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
take
sir.
care of it. You don't worry. That is
Yes,
my
sir.
headache. How I'm making you guys as a professional. That is my
Yes, sir.
headache.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, Narsi.
Yes, this is Vishal, right? Yeah, Vishal.
Yeah, Vishal. Yeah, actually, I have a little bit concern about the timing. So this timing is permanent or is it for the demo purposes?
No. These are fixed actually. 8 p.m. to 9:30 are the fixed
Oh,
timelines.
okay. So,
Yeah.
so there is no morning batch, correct?
Morning, yes. Morning DevOps will start after 50 days.
After 50 days.
15, 15, 15.
Okay, so can I shift to that morning batch after?
Yeah. Then again, it is up to you guys because more
Okay.
comfortable you have to see. Comfortable
so
environment is required to learn. Yeah.
Okay, so both batches can go parallelly, correct?
Correct. Once these admissions, once this batch is meaning complete the registrations and all right,
Yes.
then we will go and then have one more batch in the morning sessions.
Okay, can you tell me what is the exact timing? It's approximate 7, 8 or 9?
Yeah, morning it will be like from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
Okay, thanks.
Mostly. Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, anything else, folks? When will you provide notes? Yes. Hey guys, once you have registered and once I got the confirmation links with your registration details, then I will ask you to join my classroom. So here is my classroom, and with the link whatever I shared with you, you can join here and then see the notes, daily class notes, and the handouts I prepared, and then the worksheets, all those things you can see here. And then I'm just opening here. See, these are all my classrooms. So this is the DevOps with AWS classroom where I have all the notes, step-by-step things I have given. Just would like to showcase you. See this? See this, the classwork. How I have been written this. Just it is opening. It is opening. My internet seems to be little bad now. Yes. Series steps to follow when a new Ubuntu machine is created. So steps to follow, step by step. This is a class notes, and the Jenkins to Ansible pipeline connection. This is again a class notes. Step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, what we have to do. And also, apart from this class notes, I provided the handouts as well. So class notes provided, and then handouts also provided. For example, Kubernetes complete notes, if you can see, PDF handouts I have provided, right? Similarly, Docker, I have provided the PDF handouts. So like that, PDFs are password protected. So PDF documents and then the running class notes, everything will be uploaded to your classroom. The only thing is what, once I got the registrations, how many members have been registered, then I will add those people in this classroom. So it's just a matter of, adding your email address, or you can self-enroll here. I will send one code here. Using that code, you can add into this classroom. That is of your choice. Okay, I addressed one question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what also cell scripting available in this course?
Yes, yes. Shell, Linux and Linux internals have the shell scripting also. So detailed course content you can see in our DurgaSoft site probably tomorrow. Tonight we will upload. And if you can see the Linux here, Linux overview, Linux flavors, Linux commands, and sudo, then shell scripting. So in shell scripting, how do we write? So these two are very important. Shell scripting. So SSH key, remote connection. These are we frequently will use actually. So and also here there is a VM setup. VM setup using Vagrant. So VM setups we will set up initially using Vagrant, and then we will immediately switch it to AWS. I prefer to go with the AWS folks rather Vagrant. Okay, but to have an idea what is out Vagrant and all, 1 or 2 sessions we will see with the Vagrant. But our ultimate environment, dev environment, prod environment is the AWS. Yeah. Any more questions, folks?
Just source code management for source code.
If you can see this one, see this. I think I have not mentioned here, right? So source code management, we are using the Git repository. We will use the Git repository. So see my DevOps missions matrix support notes. If you can scroll down, see this pipeline. This pipeline is started with the Git repository. So this is what we will. So Git, Maven, Jenkins, SonarQube, JFrog and Nexus, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, EFK, and Grafana Prometheus. So these are all what we learn in this DevOps course content. And this entire pipeline we build using the DevOps tools and all, right? This entire pipelines we will automate using the Terraform. And for that, we will use the AWS services. Okay, so that is the step-by-step flow of the course content execution. We will start from here. So we will start from here. Of course, before here, we will start the Linux first, because Linux is important to set up all these things, right? So first we'll start with the Linux, then we will start with the Git, then we'll start with the Jenkins, Maven. Like that, step by step, we will go. So Git and Maven will take 1 week, Jenkins will take 2 weeks, SonarQube and the Nexus
Yesterday you were telling that you will start with Maven, if I remember correctly. You said you will start Git later, no? Even though the diagram shows this way.
Correct. Actually, yesterday I told I will start first with the Jenkins, not the Git and then not the Maven. Right? I said I will start with the Jenkins. So, but you know, Jenkins have a concept called continuous integration. So for that continuous integration, we require the Git repository. Usually in my earlier sessions, I have started with the Jenkins only, because for the DevOps engineers, Git repository is no need to spend much time here. That is what my intention. But as part of this course execution, let us start from here. Why? Because you know, you guys will connect, because I have seen most of the non-technical guys are here, and most of you guys, maybe non-IT guys, are also seen. I have seen. So probably it is better to start from a step-by-step flow, so that you will easily connect to this diagram. Yeah. Okay, folks. Would you provide even interview tips and mock interviews and then interview tips? Yes. Interview questions I will provide. And mock interviews, let us plan for them. Yeah. So class notes is a lifetime access. I am not sure about the lifetime access, but you can download the class notes from the links from the classroom, and then you can keep those class notes with you. Okay, folks. Tomorrow onwards, let us start the subject. So if you are really interested,
is it 3-day demo course? So tomorrow is demo or the original?
Tomorrow is also a demo. In that tomorrow demo, let us try to understand. Let us jump into the concepts then, because I have completed the course content explanation, high-level course content explanation, and I have completed the, you know, how we can execute the course content step by step. And tomorrow I will start with this one. So what is that? Is tomorrow I will start with this one, DevOps. What is DevOps? So there is a DevOps story. And using this story, we will understand the SDLC, waterfall, agile methodology. And let us start the course content from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow is again demo. but let us start our original content from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Yeah. Anything else for me, folks? So
yeah, to test this out, to work out on these, right? We need some sample applications to do this. So those things will be get provided, and we'll had an practically how we are running these microservices and all those things more than one, right?
correct. So if you can see here, yesterday I have shown actually. See this is the Spring Boot application. This is one UI Node.js application. This is a static website. Similarly, let us take one Python application. Let us take one React.js application. So all these applications I will provide you in one Git repository so that you can access from there. So I'm not going to use GitHub for this one. I'm going to use the GitLab, where only the registered members will get an access for that. Okay, so meaning what I am telling is the practice purpose and the real applications. These are, you can't see like, these are just practice purpose. No, they are real application parity, real parity. So database have, microservice architecture have, and little complexities have also here. So 6 applications I'm going to give you. Those 6 applications we're going to execute step by step. One application you completed pipeline, other applications you complete easily. So I will start my execution with one Java application, with one React.js application, and you can follow up with the microservices architecture. I will explain that. I will explain one microservices deployment. You go with the remaining 4 microservices deployments. We have the 4 microservices, 6 microservices total. I will explain one microservice. You go with the 2 to 3 microservices is good enough. Okay. Yeah. Video recordings will be available for how many days? Again, video recordings will be available for 6 months. During course 3 months, right? Post course again 3 months. Total 6 months. Videos will be available. Yep. Again, the same question asking Darshan. Sir, in job requirement, Java, Python is also mentioned. What I am saying is Java, Python, they mentioned to have one programming knowledge. If we don't have also, that is no problem. But if we have, that's an added advantage. Right, Gautami. Hi, sir. I'm a Ruby developer with 4+ years of experience. Wanna switch to DevOps. Can I able to gain real project experience of same with these trainings? 100% folks. Maybe, maybe with 1 or 2 demos, you definitely don't get confidence. I'm again telling 100% you will get confidence and experience and all, but it is little take some time for you to gain the confidence, right? But if you guys really trust me and then attend this session for 90 days, after 90 days, you guys only tell me like, sir, we have a very good confidence now to go into the market of the DevOps. So that's how we will execute here. But yes, you will be able to. Okay, Akshay, sir, any job support or interview preparation available? Interview preparation will be available. Job support is not required in my sense. After completion of this course, no job support is required for you. Okay, so Savani, you will provide the job support also. No, that's what I'm telling. Why job support, folks? If you have a less confidence, if you are not able to do, if you are not practicing, if you are not attending the sessions, right, then you require the job support. If you do all these things, why the job support? I don't really encourage these job supports. How many years you will get on this job support, right? Why we need to always beg others? I don't like it really. No, fresher also you will go to experience level, folks. That's what I'm telling. Freshers, see, you are a fresher. Why you need job support again? If you are a fresher, job support is not required.
I think during the course, if you, sorry to interrupt you, during the course, if you discuss the risks that happen when in the real-time project in this kind of environment, DevOps, AWS, and if all those kind of risks and how to mitigate them, if those kind of things are well explained, I think we will not need any job support.
That's what I am telling. That's what, only one thing, folks, attend the session, practice the session, you will get 1,000 questions. You will do 100 mistakes. Come back to me. We will set up a separate Telegram group. Come back to me. Whatever the error you will get while you practice, throw it on me. I'll explain. That's where you will gain the confidence, you will gain the knowledge, right? I'm pretty sure, folks, Jenkins master and slave architecture setup while you are doing, it will take 2 days, 3 days for you. Number of errors you will get, because Jenkins agent needs to, Jenkins slave machine need to run on some node, some agent will shut down, keep on. That is one issue. You will face 100%. You'll come back to me. I'll explain. You will solve it, right? That is how the session will be, folks. It is not only the theory. I'm pretty sure it is not like regular Amirpet training. That word I can say confidently. It is not regular Amirpet training. It is more than corporate training. That I can say. Amirpet plus corporate. It is mix of hybrid, meaning a very basic theory to in-depth discussion I will do here. So that job support is not required, folks. And assume you have a career gap, 3+, 4+ years of experience you are trying to showcase. Okay, at that moment you might feel you need the job support. But what I'm saying again, if you execute this course 90 days, if you spend with me and execute this course every step, everywhere, honestly, if you're serious, honestly, to go into a very good IT opportunity, if you're serious, if you're honest, work with me for 90 days. And after 90 days, if really you require the job support, I will do that. Okay. If really after 90 days, but again, one condition, you have to do work daily. Whatever the exercises, whatever the applications I'll provide, you have to do work on it. Otherwise, I can't do anything, right? Yes. So once, that's what, you follow me, 90 days, you work with me. After 90 days, maybe after 120 days, if you really require the job support, then we'll. I don't think you required it. Okay, I have some knowledge on Linux, networking, and Python. Awesome, Akshay. If Linux, networking, and Python, you already have the knowledge, that is really awesome. You can start. Yes. Sir, CV preparation, yes. If you can see here, maybe I can showcase something. Resume. So sample resumes for 2+ years of experience, plus 1 year experience, and 3 to 5 years of experience. All the resumes I have, I will give these resumes later in time. Once you complete your course, I'll explain on resume. OpenShift is same as Kubernetes. Yes, Vijay, OpenShift is doing the same like the Kubernetes. Okay, that is the management of the applications with the scalability and then zero downtime, replications and all. OpenShift is also doing. Yes. So Gautami, in DevOps, developer architecture is there, which has high demand and growth based on experience, Gautami. So if you are 0 to 3 years of experience, you might be a DevOps developer. If you have a 10 years of experience or 8 years of experience, not 8 years, if you have 10 years of experience, then you will be hired as a DevOps architect. Based on experience, the packages will be vary, but the jobs who are there for freshers for 0 to 5 years, 0 to 3 years, and even for the 10 years as well, jobs were there. Okay. Yeah. So Raman Sinha. Okay. I'm currently working in the application support job. How can it will be helpful for me to switch to DevOps? What will current and future job scope of DevOps? Scope of DevOps. Yeah, I think Raman Sinha, please attend tomorrow also. Tomorrow we will discuss the scope of DevOps, meaning why the DevOps we have to learn is what we have seen because of 3 reasons. One is the highly demandable, high paid job and faster deliverables is happening. These 3 things we were discussed, but tomorrow we'll discuss about the what is DevOps, what is the scope of the DevOps. Future of the DevOps is also we already discussed in demo 1. Go through the demo 1 video, but again I will recall the future of the DevOps also, future scope of the DevOps, because just I told 60% of the market will be occupied by the DevOps by 2020, right? Definitely it will be more than that in the coming up years. So scope will be there, future will be there for DevOps. Right. Yeah. So do we need to know Groovy script to write pipeline jobs? Groovy script we will use to run the pipeline jobs, yes, but You no need to know, because I will let you know here in this course. You no need to know. Okay. I work for a client and they completely, yes. Let me read that message. I worked for a client and they complete pipeline written in Groovy. Yes. Pipelines will be written using the Groovy scripts only. For example, let me show you a simple pipeline that what we have written. It is very easy. Very easy. So pipelines are very easy to write. It will follow the Groovy script, and Groovy script is very easy. Let me go to the deployment, monolithic app deployment. See this? This is called pack, pipeline as a code. Everyone is using the pack, pipeline as a code. So see how we will write it. It is a simple step-by-step process. Stages, steps, connections, right? Shell executions, all these things. It's a very easy executable, very easy. We can write very easily. But how to understand the script, how to write it and all, you will learn as part of the course. Yes. Okay, I'm having 7 years of experience in Java GTW development with 3 months training. Can I put existing 3 years of experience and get good package? 100%. Srinivasulu, Ponneri Srinivasulu, 100% you can get, no doubt at all. Hey, Java with DevOps is, like a hot cake in the market, because I'm also the guy with the Java with DevOps experience. You love that role, Java with DevOps, because most of the companies have the Java applications, and the DevOps guys, most of the DevOps guys don't have the Java knowledge. And if the guys will have the Java and the DevOps knowledge, they will be like anything in the market. There is no question about it. Rupa, I'm having zero knowledge and I'm having zero experience. It will be useful for me, right? Yes, Rupa. You also can do some market analysis. Type, go to Naukri, go to Indeed, go to Quora. Everywhere you can ask this question. The only one answer is yes. DevOps will be useful for you to start your IT career with good CTC and with good career growth. Okay. And who else in DevOps? Yeah, I hope I addressed all your questions, folks. Tomorrow onwards, let us start our course content, actual syllabus. From tomorrow onwards, let us start. So if you are really interested and if you feel it will be helpful for you, then go and start your registrations, and see you tomorrow at the same time with the actual course content start. Anything else for me?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Can we pay in 2 installments? Yes, Gautam, you speak to our backend team, huh? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, folks. Thank you. See you.
Thank you.